I was recently in Hawaii with Joshua Mills doing a conference on the glory. And wow, I got so touched by the Lord while I was there, realizing that Hawaii is going to be receiving a visitation of waves of the glory. I was really excited for them. And I fell in love with the Hawaiian people. They're so warm and hospitable and loving and oh my gosh. And I mean, Hawaii itself is paradise on earth. It's like, I love it. In fact, my husband and I and our children lived in Hawaii a number of years ago when we were with Youth with a Mission. We did a DTS back in 1980, so that's like 28 years ago. But you know, we really had a good time there and spent 3 months on the Big Island and 4 months on Oahu. And so I haven't actually been back for 15 years. We went back a few years later, and then I haven't been there for 15 years. But I was really touched by the Lord, and I really feel like we're supposed to go there and do a glory school and a school of extreme prophetic. So we're going to be doing that in 2009. In fact, if any of you want to join me at the end of February 2009, I'm going to be in Hawaii doing a glory school, and it's going to be great. And then we haven't set the dates yet for School of Extreme Prophetic, but I'd really like to do that as well. But it's just ripe for the glory, and I could just see that God's presence was there, and going to be releasing the prophetic move and stuff like that. But Joshua shared that he had had a vision while he was there a time before in a dream, and when he woke up from the dream, it's about this the unity oil and the glory of the unity. He was having a dream about it, which he's going to share with you in a few moments. But when he got up from the dream, oil started flowing from his hands. And I talked to the couple that actually saw the oil after, because it filled up a quarter of a cup. It was just coming out of his hands. We've seen that with Joshua before. But it was so neat that he had this prophetic dream about Hawaii. The oil started flowing out of his hands, and then, you know, he woke up and there it was, tangible oil in this cup that they were able to collect off of his hands. So here he is now. But join me in Hawaii next year for the Glory School, the end of February, and pray for Hawaii, because this is Hawaii's hour of visitation. And I know that God's eye is upon the islands, and great things are going to happen. And so, and if you're watching and you're from Hawaii, God bless you. And, you know, maybe you're watching and you'd like a prophetic word that you're to go ye to Hawaii, you know, well, there you go. If, you know, you're feeling quickened by the Lord, take it. In fact, you know, maybe some of you are being called to beach ministry. You stay on the beach until everybody's saved. Just kidding, but it is a wonderful place to minister. It is a true paradise. God bless you. And here's Joshua now.
It was neat because I saw the oil come out of the bowls as they're being turned. And there was different boxes that they were pouring it into. And the boxes were brightly colored, like some were orange, some were red, some were green, some were blue, some were yellow. They were all the bright colors. And I knew by my spirit that it was churches. Even though it didn't look like a church, it just looked like a box. There was people inside of these boxes, like people in boxes. And some were like this. There'd be boxes full of people like this. And then there'd be boxes of people like this, just in praise and worship, just glorifying God and lifting up the name of Jesus. And I saw the angels. They weren't looking just to go to the places that were like this. Even the people that were like this, they were pouring out oil on the people. And the box would be, the people who were kind of resisting, the box would be filled about a quarter full. Then the angel would go to the next place and pour it down. And if the people were praising, then it would go up past the quarter. It would fill up the entire box until it's almost like, the only way I can explain it's like the box melted into the oil and the people melted into the oil. And the color, whatever color box it was, suddenly it was like that flow of the color was in the oil would begin swirling, and then they would go to the next place. And the places who had resisted, they would actually go back and do it again. And each time it was like the people would open up a little bit more until they were like this. And then and then as soon as they were like that, it would fill the box and it would flow. And so in each pocket, they would go around and do this with the oil over and over and over and over again until every single box had been broken and it was just flowing with the oil. And it looked like, you know, motor oil in a driveway, where it's like it's swirling with rainbow colors. Yeah. That's what it started to look like. And then in this pocket, as it would begin to swirl like this, it would go down into the earth. And then it's like you could see all this sin that was in the area, like drug dealing and people doing drugs and prostitution and violence. I just knew that all this kind of black, dark kind of sin stuff was going on. And you would see this, and then all of a sudden the oil just like shot through the ground, but it would only shoot up through after all of the boxes had been broken down and went down together into the earth. And then it's like it shot up as a gusher, and it began knocking out all this sin. And it happened pocket by pocket or like little cluster by cluster all over Oahu. And then it was like I was taken out, and I saw all these 8 islands of Hawaii, and it happening on every island. Isn't that amazing? I woke up from the dream, and oil was flowing from my hands. And I got up, and actually, I tried to look at the clock because I wanted to know what time it was. I thought maybe there was prophetic significance about that, because when this had happened the last time, it was at 2:35 in the morning. And I couldn't find the clock. I didn't even know where the clock was, and there was no light, like behind, when I eventually found there's no light coming out of the clock. So I went and I let the oil flow. Probably, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes, maybe an hour it happened. And then I looked at the clock, it was about 6 o'clock. So it probably happened around 5, and I don't know what that means. But it was amazing. And then the oil flowed so much that there was about a quarter of a cup full of oil.